All right, so we're going to start off on Moodle. Okay, this is where it all begins. This is where it all comes into place. These are the documents that I shared with you last class. And yes, I removed the document that you brainstormed on last class because that was a brainstorming document. I did not want you to go in there and copy and paste things and throw things everywhere. I didn't think that that was appropriate, so I deleted it. I still have my own copy, but you don't have it anymore because now it's the job of each and every one of you to do this. So this is where we go. All right. On your énoncé de travaux and in the actual énoncé itself, in the document that you'll download, I have an access to this document over here. Okay? So this document is going to include how many words that you need. You need to include a title. And this is the basic structure. Last class, basically, we focused on our body paragraphs. We weren't able to include Peggy because we hadn't finished reading Peggy yet, but Annie of Red River and Tilted Ground we did, and Peggy, well, you just do the same thing. So basically, the meat, the hardcore meat of your essay is done. I explained it. That was what last class was about. I'm not going to be doing this again. But every one of your body paragraphs needs to contain all of these pieces of information. My job today is to tell you about the introduction, to tell you about your thesis statement, to tell you about your topic sentence 1, 2, and 3. You can see it's repeated. And finally, give you some feedback on a conclusion. And then at the end, I will explain to you where the énoncé is and what the énoncé looks like. So let me pause this for a second. The fundamental structure of your essay, okay, if you flip back to here, if you want to know what it looks like in word form, this is what it looks like in word form. Here's your title. Here's your introduction. And your thesis statement, as I will remind you in a few minutes, is always at the end of your introduction. And it's going to include 3 things. I'll explain those to you in a minute. Here is thing 1, here is thing 2, here is thing 3, and here is your conclusion at the end. This is your topic sentence 1. This is your topic sentence 2. This is your topic sentence 3. This is your body paragraph 1, body paragraph 2, body paragraph 3, introduction, and finally conclusion. Hopefully that's clear. So let's begin with the introduction. Your introduction is going to need to give me some general information, some background. In this case, I'd like you to use the foreword to 150 years, okay, which is these pages here, which are also on the Moodle site, and I can show them again to you now. It's about not even a page, I guess, if you put it all together. Give me a background to 150 years. Give me a background to why it was written, to why it was important, to how it's significant. And then finally, at the very end of your introduction, you need to have your thesis statement. I'll talk to you about your thesis statement in a few minutes, but your thesis statement needs to be here at the end. So hopefully, so far so good. Okay, the introduction is pretty basic. If we go back to our structure here, right? Your thesis statement needs to include 3. I'm asking you for 3 adjectives that are going to describe Annie of Red River, Tilted Ground, and Peggy. Okay? So, why are these 3 people heroes? What are the adjectives that you could use to identify them as a hero? For the fun of it, hopefully nobody copies me, but for the fun of it, I'll create my own 3 adjectives. So I'll say Annie of Red River is a hero because he's courageous. Chief Billy Asu is a hero because he's inspiring. And Peggy is a hero because he was brave. 1, 2, 3. It's one sentence. Annie of Red River was courageous. Chief Billy Yasu was inspiring and Peggy was brave. In this one sentence, you have not told me why. You've just told me what the adjective was that would define them. So that brings us back here, okay, to our introduction. And that is what you put at the end over here. So hopefully that makes sense. Now, let me explain something else. Watch the time here too. All right. Your thesis statement includes your 3 adjectives. As I said, Annie of Red River is courage, Chief Billy Yasu is inspiration, and Peggy is bravery. Now, I changed those into nouns, but you get the idea. That's my thesis statement. Your job in your topic sentence is going to be to now explain in one sentence, why is Annie of Red River courageous? Why is Chief Billy Yasu inspiring? And why is Peggy brave? That's when you tell me, okay, in more detail. Now, the rest of your body paragraph, as you see over here, after your topic sentence, is now going to include 2 quotes to the story that include obviously developing your reason why, and 3 examples that, again, prove your reason why. You can look at this over here, and really this is a recipe. I've given you a very detailed recipe. Now, I did that for many reasons. Okay, I'll pause this for a second. So in your introduction, as I mentioned, your thesis statement has those 3 elements. Here goes 1, goes 2, there goes 3. Now, probably the most challenging, most confusing, in my opinion, to explain, okay, this is the basic essay plan, but I don't think that we need that. The most difficult thing to explain is the conclusion. That's what, as a teacher, I find the most confusing. The introduction is fairly simple. You begin with a kind of like a general description, and you end with your thesis statement. Your body paragraphs are boop, 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 easy. But the conclusion is what I find students are most like, what? Okay. So your conclusion should include these 3 things over here. And this is part of the video. Okay, so you can pause the video here at 7 minutes and 46 seconds if you want to write down the exact time and look at it. You should restate your thesis. Okay, you should go over what you've said before. I encourage you to, you could use other synonyms than the ones you used before. So I'll find another synonym for courage, another synonym for inspiration, another synonym for bravery, or I can even use them as nouns if I need to. You can summarize your main points as to why, one person had courage or inspiration or bravery. And this is where you can have some type of ending to it. So you can end with a suggestion, something that maybe people should learn more about these heroes. These are all heroes, and all Canadians need to learn more about them because we should have more of these stories, or we should tell more of these stories. We should learn more of these stories in school. A prediction: if everybody read these stories, we'd live in a better world. That brings me to the other foot, Ray Bradbury, very much the same kind of thing as well. You can have a quotation. I'm not going to make your life difficult. That basically, I'm quite happy. There are so many cool little quotations in here. And if you want one of my favorite ones comes from the foreword as well, the introduction or the foreword. Where in the very last paragraph, she talks about seeds. I love it. I think it's a beautiful thing. All right. Each story is like a seed deep inside of us. It's our responsibility as readers to carry and nourish those seeds. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. So that kind of thing, or a quote from one of your stories, or a quote from something, okay, that can help you finally finish your essay. All right, so then that brings me back here again to this document, which is part of the original document itself, the Énoncé de Travaux that I'll show you in a few minutes. include a title, and I'd like you to include a word count. Don't forget that you need 2 quotes. So that's 2, 4, 6, and maybe one over here too. That could be 7. So you'd be like, well, Chris, how am I supposed to do that? What's up with that? I don't want to do that. I never quoted before. I hate quoting. I hate quotes. I never use them. Well, here's how you do it. Now, in this part over here is what you substitute. So forward, Annie of Red River, tilted ground, Peggy. This stays the same. This is going to change. Who wrote it is going to be different. And the page numbers changed as well. And here's my example from Kitaski Now 2350. All you need to do is shove in the different pieces of information. Okay, that's all that you need to do. Just go take this or this, I don't care, and plug in that different piece of information. So earlier, that quote about seeds was actually page number VI, right? They use the Roman system over there. So I'm going to pause this for a quick sec. And this beautiful place in Moodle is where you find all of the beautiful information that I've just told you about. Now, this is a basic essay plan, okay? It's not particularly interesting, okay? But if you want to know what a basic plan looks like, that's what it is. This is the details document that I showed you just a few moments ago. This is a checklist. So make sure that everything is there, okay? Your grammar, your spelling, your vocabulary, your word choice, your structure, your body paragraphs, your conclusion, your intro, blah, blah, blah. I suggest that you look at this over here. It's a well done little checklist to help you. This is just a little Google Slides that includes some screenshots, but again, they're all in the video for you right here. Here's the forward, okay, that I told you about a few moments ago, but you all have the book now. But anyway, the seeds part comes from over here, and over here is where I got the inspiration for this hero writing. Last but definitely not least is the writing evaluation grid that is super, super, super basic. You know, easy for everybody to understand. Nothing crazy here. So here is going to have to do with the structure of your essay. Your intro, body, conclusion. 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Are your topic sentences there? Are your etc. Okay, your thesis statement, blah, blah, blah. Here are the content. Okay, I'm going to be looking at what you wrote. And I'm looking at the language that you use to write it. So that's your vocabulary, okay? Your clarity, that kind of thing. Your grammar. And then finally, do you or not meet the word count over here, okay, out of 20. This is the grid that I'm going to use for you. And it's there. All right, so let me just pause for a quick. This is what your Énoncé de Travaux looks like when you download it. Ta-da! There it is. Super beautiful, I know. It took me forever to do. Write your name here. If you forget, it's not the end of the world because on Leia, it tells me who you are anyway, but still, this makes my life a little bit easier. Here's the link to that detailed recipe that I shared with you a couple of times, but it's on Moodle anyway. I'd like you to include a word count at the end of your essay. And finally, 450 words. Now, here. When you're finished and you upload it to me, I want it to be sent as a Word or a PDF. Why? Because I don't have a Mac here. I can't read pages. And if you Google Chrome stuff or what, I can't read it. I can't read it. But if you have pages or you use whatever other, I don't care what you use, you can export to a PDF like that. Seriously, like that. I've got a Mac here, got a Mac there, got a Mac downstairs. But this is my my work computer, okay? And when I have it on my work computer, I can't see nothing. So let me show you one last thing. Last but not least, here's your Énoncé de Travaux that 9 of you have already seen. I can see when you've seen it. Jusqu'au 28 octobre. Retard accepté. Now, 28 October is in a week. And that means it's up until the end of the day Okay, so you have until midnight on the 28th of October for it to be done.